Hello, and welcome to the Career Change Diaries podcast with me, Alice Stapleton. And today I'm really pleased to be speaking to Benjamin Benois. Hi, Ben, how are you?
Hey Alice, very good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. So, Ben, all his professional career worked in the tech industry for companies like Google, Tripadvisor, and that was all as a sales manager.
Mhm.
But then he decided to completely change his career to follow his passion and follow something that he used to feel like a dream. And he is now a mental performance coach for professional and Olympic athletes. And he's been doing that for the past 3 years. So sounds amazing. So it
Yeah,
sounds like that was
good to hear. It's good to hear.
yeah. It's always nice when you hear your bio back. You're like, yeah, I did that. I did do
Yeah.
that. So Ben kindly reached out to me on, I think it was through my website actually, and
Mhm.
wanted to share his career change story. So it's not that we've worked together or anything like that. It's just come to share his wisdom. So first of all, tell us a little bit about what you were doing in the tech industry and how you found that sort of work.
Um, so I've actually I did a business school before, and then I studied 1 year in the US, and after I was back to Paris and did some internships. And actually, after those internships, my first job in the job market was for Google, which was pretty amazing because they actually
Yeah,
reached
good
out to
good place to start. Yeah.
yeah, they actually reached out to me through a third party. But yeah, I had to move to Dublin, Ireland. That's where I lived for 4 years. And I worked for Google for nearly 2 years. There, I wasn't doing sales. I was kind of making sure that big advertising campaigns of Google were kind of working well. So I was in contact with the sales team, in contact with the vendors in India and the Philippines, and managing projects and vendors. I was doing that in Google, but I wanted to go in sales, couldn't do it in Google. So after I moved to TripAdvisor, still in Dublin, Ireland, and that's where I started my story and my adventure in sales. And then after step by step from account manager, account executive, and then I became a sales manager. And the last couple of years, in the my corporate years, I managed international sales teams. After TripAdvisor, I actually worked for another smaller tech company in France, in Paris. After that, when I moved to Vietnam, because I lived 1 year in Vietnam, I actually was a headhunter for a British company called Robert Walters. But it was more like a way for me to be and experience life in Southeast Asia. And that's around that time where kind of my life changed towards that new job that I'm doing today.
Wow. Lots of adventures then
Yeah.
by the sounds of it. So just tracking back a little bit. So with
Mhm.
Google, what was it about your profile that the third party found attractive enough for them to reach out to you?
Okay. Trilingual, because I speak fluently French, English, and Spanish, and some experience with the AdWords. In a nutshell, those two boxes were ticked,
Uh,
and a bit of luck. I don't know, and that's what really mattered for them. But I would say very, very important piece, the fact that I could speak three languages fluently, and then the rest
yeah, 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 big bonus. And what was it like working there?
was was fun actually. It well, it helped me to after that, because after I lived in Dublin, and after putting Google on my CV, I experienced having interviews with all of them, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, and all of them. And then it helped me to think like, it's not it's not that it's not that hard to work in Google. Actually, it's not. You don't need to come from the best business school in the world. You don't need to have the best CV in the world. They like to take stories in that your CV, means something. There is a good storytelling, but that's what helped me to understand about the Google in the tech industry, and then what's like to work for Google. Um, like the benefits and the environment is quite incredible. Of course, you have free restaurants and free food and free this and free that, and it's a giant and you're just a number. But in a nutshell, I think your work needs to be excellent. Your work is always tracked, and as long as your work is excellent, then you're fine. But I used to have a manager. I remember Irish manager. He used to tell me like, at Google we take the best people for the most simple jobs. He used to tell me that about Google. Maybe not about all the engineering and complicated stuff, but sales and other kind of jobs. Yeah. So that was it. Work for Google.
Interesting. Yeah, because it seems to have, it's one of those companies that has its own sort of persona. Like everyone thinks so cool to work there, and
Yeah.
if you work there, you've really made it, and that sort of thing. So yeah, I thought it would be quite cool to ask. So how long was that tech career in the end?
6, 7, 4 plus 2, 6 plus 1, 7, approximately 7 years.
Okay, so quite a big chunk. So what was it that started to creep in that made you think that maybe a bit of a change was needed?
So I think for me, the career change didn't come as a big project and thinking about a specific idea or product or service for years and step by step build. No, it wasn't like that. But I can share with you that I had signals. I think the last 3, 4 jobs in corporate, I experienced repetitively those moments where I would be in front of my computer in the office and I would just tell myself, what the fuck are you doing here? Do you even care? Of course, I always was very professional. I wanted to reach my targets, and was very important to me to be successful, to be promoted, etc., etc. But I felt that kind of that lack of interest, lack of it's a big word. I know the purpose. It's a big word, but lack of interest, lack of purpose, lack of, do I want to do that again and again every day? And I experienced that. Remember that I experienced that in a Tripadvisor at the end, because at the end, for me, every day looked alike, selling the same thing, talking to that clients, working with the same managers, and again. And I lost the interest. I think I lost the interest and the fun and and I got those signals step by step, repetitively, different years, different companies.
Yeah. How long do you think you felt like that for?
Already at 2020, 2021 already. That's why I left Tripadvisor, actually. Left Tripadvisor, took a small break when we were living in the south of Spain in Malaga, because I lived 2 years there. Left Tripadvisor, took a small break, and then moved to Paris, worked again for a tech company, felt this kind of the same way. Work only there for 10 months, but stopped for another reason. And then same thing when I was in Vietnam as a headhunter, I started on the side already that kind of mental coaching path, but I shortened that experience with Robert Waters as a headhunter, because again, I was like, why continuing? I don't see the point. I don't like, I had fun. I had a lot of fun. I love Vietnam. Amazing colleagues, amazing environment, but I didn't see the point of continuing putting my time and energy for something I kind of didn't care, which was less time and energy I could put on that side project at the time.
So you'd already started to do some course in mental performance coaching?
So it started in Actually, everything went very, very fast. I started my certification of mental coaching for athletes in April 2023, while I was doing my visa to go to Vietnam. So I started my course, doing the visa, then went to Vietnam. I had my corporate job. I had my salary, everything was secured. And then on the side, I was doing my certification, lasted 6 to 8, around 8 months. Started to work because when you do any kind of, maybe you know yourself, when you do any kind of uh, coaching degree, you need to do hours of coaching for free to get the experience. So it's a win-win for you and the person in front of you. So I've already started to do a few free hours for a few athletes while I had that corporate job. And then step by step, yeah, it went very fast. More athletes, more this, more that. Yeah.
And how did you arrive at mental performance coaching? Like, how did you, yeah, arrive at doing a
Yeah.
course? Talk me through that.
So I think it's a result of my passion and life experience. So, of course, I had the corporate leadership and management experience. So I started to manage people, I think, at a young age, 28, 29. And I was managing, the maximum was teams of 12 to 14 people, international teams that were selling products in all MEA. So Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And I was managing people from, I don't know, 25 to 55, already at quite a young age for a manager. So I had that experience managing, coaching, leadership. And then also on the side, also quite at a young age, I started to coach football teams as a hobby. And I started to do that when I
Okay.
was 20, 21, 22. So I coach maybe 6, 7 years football teams in France, US, and Ireland, where I lived, and quite a low level, but university level, amateur level, and almost like semi-professional level when I was in Ireland. So I coached hundreds of football players from any age, any social background, any country, and all of that made kind of a big experience with coaching and managing people and quite a empowering and supporting and etc etc. And I was always a big fan of high level sport, but I was never from this world. But I was a big fan. I went to the Olympics in London in 2012. I went to the Olympics in Rio in 2016. So I had some passion and a mix of managing and coaching, and the curiosity of seeing what's out there in terms of other kind of coaching made me discovered the existence of this job, I think end of 2022, mental coach of athletes. And once I've discovered the existence of this job, uh, for me, it was kind of a kind of revelation. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And you started all of that just as a hobby and just because it was a passion,
So
and then
I started like, yeah, as something on the side. And I remember actually myself having that discussion with my sister when I started, and I would told her, yeah, maybe in a couple of years, if it works, why not? In 5 or 6 years, but everything actually went way faster. But yeah, I started on the side as a hobby, their certification while having a corporate job, but always with kind of very high ambitions. That's how I started. Yeah.
but it sounds like the football coaching that you did, that was just something you did for fun though,
Yeah,
originally.
it was fun. It was for fun, but I've always wanted to go to the next level. That's why I moved from amateur to university. I was coaching one of the football team of Trinity College in Dublin, and then I wanted more, so I went in the high level in Ireland, and then I passed some certification in Ireland. Um, so it was a hobby. I
But
wasn't
you
paid.
always had a slight eye on it being a
Yeah, I had
profession.
that. I
Yeah.
just wanted to do
Okay.
more about it and experience it as much as I could. But I stopped in 2019 because I don't know. I didn't find out the right environment to continue. And then after a few years, I felt that, yeah, I was missing the word of coaching. And that's when, yeah, everything went quite fast when I discovered that I could maybe try that path. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you remember how you discovered that job title, so to speak? Was
So
it?
I think just by reading and
Yeah.
like reading and discovering, and I think my inner curiosity. And then I discovered that guy who is quite in the world of high level sport in France and mental coaching in France. He's quite famous. He's
Mm.
French and he coached very famous athletes in France. And I discovered him. And then I think after I started to read his book and understand what he did, and I actually did his school or entity or private school. I did I reached out to his school, but everything started like I didn't know where to go because I had no network in sport, in high level sport. I didn't know any mental coach. I didn't know any athlete. I didn't know nothing. So what I've done, I reached out to people on LinkedIn. I reached out, okay, who mental coach in France, and I sent dozens of messages, and then one or two, three people answered, and I could do a video call with two. And it's always like that, you know. If you want to do something but you don't know, reach out to people. Most of the people they're gonna say no. All the others they're not gonna answer. Maybe one or two will take the
That's all you
time.
need, right?
Exactly, that's all you need, and then that one or two will give you keys or information or knowledge that you don't have. And from those calls, they told me, "Look, I've done that school. I've done this school. Reach out to him," and it started like that.
Yeah. So those initial messages, can you remember how you introduced yourself, what you asked for? Did you just say, "Can I have a chat with you about what you did?" Or could you
Very
remember?
simple. I think you
Yeah.
need to be
Yeah.
straightforward. This is who I am.
Yeah.
This is what I've done. This is what I'm passionate about. Can you help me? Ask for help. If as any advice, asking for help. If you ask for help, if you're straightforward, you're transparent, and people can kind of read your passion and your character and your will to do something through your message, then you might get some answers.
Mm.
That's what I
And
believe in.
what were you looking for at that point? Just advice about where to
Guidance,
start? Yeah.
guidance, definitely guidance, knowledge. I was like a white page, empty book. So
Like a
I need
sponge.
just exactly sponge. Anything that you can share with me, I'll take it, and I'll go more deeper on that, and then I'll make it my own. And but yeah, that's what I've done at very, very, very first steps. Yeah.
So they what suggest that you do this particular course, or were you
Yeah.
thinking of that one already?
I don't remember exactly, but I think they helped me to figure it out. Okay, so I've done this school, I've done this course with this guy. Reach out to him. That's what I remember. And after of course, because there are few in France, I tried. I started to compare the quality, the cost, how long, because I needed something very flexible because I was
Mm.
going to Vietnam, so something that I could do e-learning plus some video calls with the trainer. And actually, I've done a call with him and I found out and I took that decision. I took that decision because I had nothing to lose. You know, I had nothing to lose. And I said, okay, on the side, while I have something secure. And that's where it started. Yeah.
And at that point, did you have an idea of where you wanted to take it, or were you just focusing on the course for now at that point?
Um, I think I always had a vision of it. I always had a vision. I look because I think when you have that kind of idea or project, you have two options. Or you're the option A of, you know what, I'm over 30. I don't know anything about it. It's a bit maybe too late. It will be too much energy. Do I have the time? And and option A, you know what? I'll just read a book from time to time about that on the Sunday afternoon. Option B, fuck it, let's go.
Go for it.
I'll
Yeah.
yeah, go for
All
it. I'll make
in.
a plan. Oh, yeah, I'll make a plan. I'll go for it. I'll write a vision and I'll take it step by step. No pressure, step by step. It's not like I'm leaving my job, no money, no salary. No, no, no. Step by step, no pressure. So, but then I told myself, look, it's kind of a dream for you to work with high level athletes, professional athletes, even Olympic athletes. One of my first athletes, she even qualified for the Paris Olympics, and she did the final there. So it was kind of a dream for me. So I was, look, if you go for something, just have big dreams, big ambitions. Who cares? Who's gonna judge? Who's gonna judge you for that? So I had big dreams. I wanted already big athletes, professional athletes, high level athletes. So, for example, on that course, they told you can as a test people, you can take whoever. No need to have professional athletes. That can be your neighbor who is preparing a marathon. That's fine. You can do the sessions with him. But I thought, no, 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 no. If I want to make it something out of it, I need right now already pro athletes or semi-professional athletes. So that's what I've done. Reached out to people, created an Instagram, asked for friends for some help, and then contact to contact to contact, plus getting people. I had already 4 athletes doing the sessions for free, and I had already a 2 vice world champion of trail, an American football player, professional, a Paralympic soccer player of the US team, and a Paralympic Irish cyclist. And those were my 4 athletes. So I wanted to put the quite high level roots already.
Yeah. Well, how did you find them? Like, how did you build those relationships?
I use my laptop.
Okay, yeah.
That's it. I don't
So
know.
what, reach out to them or?
Sending messages. Yeah, reaching out.
Yeah.
Reaching out, reaching out, reaching out, reaching out. And I've done sales all my life. So sales, I think sales is one of the best. I think right now as a solo entrepreneur, I think sales might have been the best training and skill set ever that is helping me, because the resilience, the reaching out to people, the getting no as an answer, the putting the volume of work, the structure of managing your pipeline, the ongoing starting again, because you can have an amazing quarter and do 200%, 1st of April, back to zero. And again and again and again, it's very intense. And then in terms of communication, negotiation, socializing, it helps you so much in so many areas of your life. So I've done sales before, so I was not very afraid of putting the volume and reaching out to people. So that's what I've done. And some people answered. And for the first one, they had nothing to lose, because I said, I'm doing my training, so it's going to be free for you. And if you don't like it, we can stop it after 2 hours if you want. So that's kind of how it started to find the first athletes.
Yeah. That's quite interesting. Yeah, just an amazing transferable skill from that first career to have that sales background. I definitely see that in well, you're obviously in similar industry, coaching. You can see the people that maybe have a marketing background or a sales background, because it's not necessarily the skill set that you go into the job for, but it's definitely needed. So yeah, sounds like it stood you in really good stead. But I just love your attitude. You're just kind of like, well, if they don't answer or they say no, then on to the next.
At the end of the day, this is true. I sleep the same way. This is not going to change my life. And I wake up the next day and send other 50 messages. And that's it. I mean, that's what I believe works. Of course, and I put the volume, not like a stupid volume, a targeted volume. I'm not a donkey or a monkey, but yeah, reach out, put the volume. And if you believe in what you're doing, some doors or windows may open somehow.
Yeah. Well, and is that what drives you? Just that belief that I know I can help this person, and that's why I'm reaching out?
So I had that belief since the beginning of that project that I was meant for that job. That I had it's hard to explain, but I had the unwavering belief that will work. I mean, no doubt. When I don't know, but I had no. I had few doubts, of course, but I was convinced I could be good at that. Of course, getting other certifications because after I got others in other topics, and I can share that with you after if you want. But yeah, I had that mindset that this can work, but this can work if I put all my energy, I put everything, and I'm quite passionate about what I do. So yeah, when I reach out to athletes, I'm quite passionate about maybe I can make a difference, slight difference, or put my piece of the puzzle to help them. And since now nearly 3 years or less, I see that. I
Mm.
see it works very differently for everybody, but I've seen the result. I've seen the positive impact. I've seen the performances. I've seen the medals. So I see it works very differently for some people, and maybe for some people it won't work, and that's fine. But I've seen it works, and that's why also it all went very fast because in my first dozens of sessions with the first athletes, I see that our work together with the athlete got some impact in their day-to-day life, in their level of serenity, in their level of approaching training or competition, in their level of managing to decrease somehow the stress, in etc. etc. And then also in their performance, because that's what they want at the end of the day or the month or the year. So I believe, wow, it's working. Now I need to do and get some more and experience that more with more sports, more people. And that's what I've done now with nearly 30 athletes and from kind of all continents. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and how has it grown? Is it simply been you when you make those contacts, you can talk
Yeah.
about your results, or is it word of mouth,
Um,
or how's it grown in the way that it has?
so the base, because again, I'm not from this world and I had no network and nobody, the base is reaching out. So still I have less and less time to do it now, and I have more and more kind of uh, inbounds referrals. So it's amazing. Actually, I have more and more athletes reaching out, and in some, and recently I have also more and more parents of kind of 14, 16 years old high level teenager athletes reaching out because they see that I have athletes on social media, etc. But reaching out, the effort, and that's what I've learned with sales, the effort of consistency of sending messages and to see if they're interested. Of course, with being mindful and with the right mindset and the right kind of messages and the right respecting the mindset of sport, not being too aggressive, you know. So
Mm.
that first. Then now I'm getting more and more referrals, which is kind of great. Feels good sometimes to receive those messages because you're like, wow, it's your work is paying step by step. And as I've always had LinkedIn, so I put some content on LinkedIn and also Instagram. Before that journey, I didn't have Instagram, so I put some content on Instagram because I also believe that even if you're good at what you do, if nobody knows about it, I mean, you might
Yeah.
stay on the same chair all your life. So people need to see. People need to understand. People need to see the proof of what you do. People need to see what you're doing. So the mix of all of that made it kind of grow. And I would say also the results of my athletes. It's one of my best advertising at the end of the day.
Well, yeah, an Olympic finals, pretty cool,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I mean, it honestly, it was a big part of so my journey. It was the start, but still, when when I got to know that she qualified for the Olympics, she already did the Olympics in Tokyo. She's a 400-meter runner, so athletics track from Canada. And when she qualified for Paris Olympics and actually did a final, honestly, I thought, wow, everything is doable. Everything is possible because I had when we started to work together, she lost a bit of level and confidence and etc. But she still managed to qualify. So for me, it was kind of wow. If I'm able to help someone to reach something like that, of course, it's not my qualification. Those are not my medals, but I'm still part of the team. I help somehow, but for me, it was wow. Eh, Now I can do more. I think everything is doable. So it helped me also to believe
Yeah.
even more.
Well, and you said it all happened a lot quicker than you were
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
expecting. So were you expecting to have your tech job for a bit longer? Or
So actually, like as I told you, like I started my certification in April 2023 and left my headhunter job in Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, in March 2024. But it wasn't meant to be like that. But because I've seen the result, I've seen the impact, I've seen it grow step by step with the level of time I had, because I still had a 8 to 5 p.m. job. So I couldn't work during the day on that. Like, again, I was telling you, I've put the volume because on the morning, work started at 8:30, 5:30, it finished. Going back home, changing clothes, taking my backpack, going to a coffee place, working on that project certification, studying, reaching out, sessions from 6 to midnight, going back home, sleeping, and again. And I was doing that few days per week. I was also every Saturday morning was a non-negotiable from every Saturday morning to work on that project. And I was like, with those limited hours, this is what I've done in such a little time, knowing nobody, starting from zero. And I was like, imagining if I have all day. So that's why I told myself, look, there is no reason for me to continue going to the office for something I kind of don't care and I don't like much. So that's it. I'm gonna I'm gonna say goodbye to a corporate job, take the bet, take a risk. You know what? Take a risk, but at the end of the day, for me, when I ask myself what's the risk, for me, not doing it and waiting was way more risky. That's the way I thought about it.
yeah. I've heard. I think somebody on one of the last episodes said that as well. That it was just more of a risk to stay doing something that they just didn't care about. Well,
Exactly.
then, yeah, and obviously leaving a full-time job financially,
Yeah.
that's quite a big step. So did you feel you already had enough from the coaching, or did you have savings, or what? How
So
did you make that work?
I had savings. Um, well, in sales, when you're good at what you do, you can earn some good commissions and bonuses. So I had some savings, but I almost didn't use any savings because, and thanks to the French system, I'm quite grateful because I had unemployment rights. So I left Vietnam. I was back to Paris in June 2024, and then uh, I could still have, I think, 70%, 70% of my unemployment benefits as an entrepreneur for a year, which was
Oh
amazing.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, they still pay
Well,
you, so 70%, and
yes,
you
yes.
can earn on top of that.
Um, and you earn your entrepreneurial the incomes of your entrepreneurial business on yeah for you.
Oh wow.
And so we complain, we grumpy French people, but still we have an amazing system. I mean, I'm so grateful when the girl on the phone told me, yeah, you have the right of doing that. I say, are you sure? Are you sure? Thank you. I
Yeah.
didn't I didn't know because I the past job before going to Vietnam, actually, they closed my market. So they proposed me to stay in the company for a lower job or firing me. I said, no, you fire me. I didn't came for that. So they fired me. So I got unemployment, quite good amount of money per month because I had pretty good jobs before. And then when I left to Vietnam, I called the administration. I said, stop paying me. I'm leaving. And not everybody do that. But I mean, I was always kind of educated to be kind of ethical. But when I came back to Vietnam, some friends that were entrepreneurs told me, I think you have the right to get something. So, and I had that right. So the first year of developing my business, I had help from the state of France. And I'm also very grateful because I didn't pay a rent during a year and a half, living in between my two parents' places. So we're from Paris. So our place in France, Paris, and our place somewhere else in Spain. So I was rent free for a year and a half. And that's why now I'm in Asia and I'm coming back to Paris soon. And I'll come back to the real adult life of paying a rent because now the business is better. So I'm coming back to that. But that's kind of how I handled my financials and using almost none of my savings. And I had also
Okay.
to be more careful than before. I'll be honest. But yeah, that's how I organize kind of my financials.
Oh, interesting. Okay. And I mean, how does it feel to be like living out that vision that you had then and that dream that you had?
That's amazing. That's amazing. Look, I had a vision and I've always believed in that vision. And but I didn't thought it would almost all happen as I thought it would happen. But it's all happening as I thought it would happen. And it won't be always like that. I'm aware I will have bad months, bad years, and that's fine. And I'm ready for that. But I had that vision. But I think that vision happened because I've put the work, I've believed, I didn't listen to judgments, I didn't listen to the opinion of others, didn't care much. And others close to me or far from me. And it feels great. And I love what I do every day. Yeah.
And did you have people's opinions coming at you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Of
yeah,
course.
what sort of thing?
No, I had good people around me, good friends and my sister, and they always believed in my project. But for others, it didn't make any sense moving. And I get it. And I'm not the first one telling you that. I'm sure through all the people you interviewed that didn't make sense. Like what? Moving from good tech job and sales management and good CV and good logos, and now you're gonna move to that and you don't know anyone and what the hell are you doing? And I can share with you when I in March 2024 I was only earning 400 per month euros. I can share that with you. Now, of course, I've multiplied it by a good amount, but so maybe I was crazy, but I think you need to, uh, uh, you need a good craziness to, to take those kind of decisions. You need some craziness. And I see that craziness in all the athletes I work with. They are a bit crazy because they believe in a dream. But you need that. If you're not crazy a bit, you're not gonna put the work. You're not gonna believe. You're not gonna challenge yourself. You're not gonna go in, go out. You're not gonna do the effort day in, day out. You're not gonna come back from big losses or bad performances. So I was a bit crazy, but I think for the right reasons. Yeah.
Well, it's belief, isn't it? I mean, I think back to when I changed, and at no point did I ever think about it not working. I don't know. It was odd. It was just like, well, this is what I want to do, and it will
Yes.
work because I'll make it work. I don't know. It's a funny. I mean, yes, you have a kind of, as you say, am I crazy? What am I doing? You know, yeah, leaving a stable job. But then it's like, well, is it crazy to leave a job that you don't give a shit about or you don't
Maybe.
enjoy? And well, is that crazy? Not really. Why?
I don't
In
know.
fact, it's crazy to stay. Why would you stay? Why would you stay doing something you hate and that you
Absolutely.
don't see the point
Look,
of?
I agree with you. I have one knife. I have not two. That's it. I mean,
Mm.
I want to work for something for my dream, my thing. But at the same time, I don't believe you have to do that in your life. I don't believe it's an obligation to find another purpose. It's not an obligation to find a dream. You can be extremely happy with a great family, and your purpose can be to have an amazing, amazing kids or amazing hobby on the side, and that's fine. But I thought, you know what? If I don't do it, I will regret it. I was sure of that. I asked myself, will you regret it in 20, 30 years or even less? And the answer was yes. And I asked myself, should you wait? Wait what? Wait who? So no, not waiting. So I asked myself a few questions, and every single time the answers were driving me to that. And then after, as you said, I had that belief. I had that belief, but I think belief is a start. And then after, you need a high level of resistance to inner and external doubts and judgments and distractions and months that are hard times, hard months, hard quarters, hard years. You need a high level of resistance to keep on the path, to stay on the path. Because you can have the belief, but then you're gonna get punched. And most of the time, even by you sometimes, inner dialogue and of self-doubts. But you have to resist in your ideas. And if your final ideas and final vision doesn't work out, on the path you'll find maybe other stuff. You'll know people, you'll network, you'll discover new skills, but you'll find out on the way through maybe something else if it's not it. So that kind of was what drove me like intensively. And you know what? The crazy thing, it was a bit crazy because I said, you know what? When I started all of that in 2023, I said, I'll help an athlete qualifying for Paris Olympics by summer 2024. And me saying that, not knowing anybody and nothing about high level sport. And that was crazy. It was crazy. But I didn't care. I didn't care. I don't care. It's my idea, it's my vision, and I'll find a way. And it happened somehow.
Well, it gives you direction, right? It gives you a focus.
Yeah.
If you have that goal and ambition, then you work towards it.
Absolutely.
I was going to say something then, but it's gone out of my head. Can't remember what I was going to say. Okay, well, I find it very inspirational. I think it's amazing that you had these goals and you've really made them happen for yourself. And where would you love it to go from here?
More athletes, more great performances, more of making a difference in someone's life, more of empowering and supporting them to reach the next level. And after one of my goals, I don't know when it will happen, but I would love to also experience, why not, working for a high level sports club or federation, a national federation. No need to be France, and I don't think it will happen because I don't have the network in France. I don't have the university French degrees, and I'm kind of out of the box guy, and sometimes we don't like that. But yeah, I think I would love one day to work for a country, a federation, going to a World Cup or an Olympics as part of the delegation. That would be kind of a goal. I'm not saying a dream. I think it's a goal because I think it's achievable. When, I don't know, but I think it's achievable. So that's kind of the next big thing. But until then, step by step and keep believing in what I do.
Yeah. Well, I think what strikes me about your approach is just the discipline and the consistency. You show up every day, no matter what, and that's really helped you get to where you are already.
And I discussed about that with recently. I've discussed about that there with many people working for corporate but from home, moving from office to from home, or people being also self-entrepreneurs. And we always talk about, wow, you need to be so much self-disciplined. Because some people, they don't have they never work from home, always the structure and discipline of an office and stuff. And now every day at home, and nobody's gonna tell you what to do at home. Or and sometimes when you have a kind of chill, relaxed boss who trusts you, I mean, you need to put the work. You need to be so much self-discipline. I mean, and so much structured. I think what helps something is my structure, my self-discipline, and yeah, those kind of things, and yeah, as you said, the consistency. And what's helping me, and I'm quite lucky. I coach every day people that inspire me. Those athletes, they're kind of just incredible. They're just from another, I don't know, they're from another race or from another planet, but they're just their self-discipline, their will to make the effort, their will to work hard, their will to believe, their will to come back again. And when I work with them and I support them and I help them, and I'm always like, if they can do it, I can do it too. Because I work with athletes that sometimes they're not from rich families, or they're from, let's say, not the most developed countries. They have to leave their countries. They have to make it happen with very little money. They have to make it with not individual coach. They have to make it happen and reach top 100 in the world without the right structure. And they make it happen somehow. And so every day I have examples. So it kind of also kick me in the butt and give me the right energy.
Yeah, well, it's a good tip though, surround yourself with inspirational people who
absolutely.
are going places. I saw a clip on, I don't know who it was, but it was a reel on Instagram. And yeah, it was like you're a product of your environment. If you hang out with 5 losers, you'll be the 6th. But if you hang out with some high performance people, you'll be the 6th high performing person.
I believe so.
Which is very true. And are there any particular strategies that help with your consistency state? I mean, you mentioned that you've created a structure for yourself.
Yeah,
anything
but
else like that?
I think it's very personal. Me, I need a lot of structure. I need to track everything I do. But that's also a trap, because if I don't, it's a big trap because it's a passion job. So if I don't work for 4 days, I'm too far from job. I took a break for too long. I need to come back to it, and I need to be careful with that, because I mean, I work on mental health and I help people to take care of themselves. So I need to also to be careful about mine. But I think the way you structure your day to day, it's very personal, because me, it's structure and tracking and stuff. But other people, I know another mental coach. He's really good at what he does. No, he's the opposite. Oh, no structure, no all of this, no all of that. Just freely creative, no tracking, nothing. And that's good for him. So I think it's very personal. But I can share with you maybe one or two quotes that kind of drive me. And I think they're really at the roots of, my systems. So I think the first one, and it's kind of, it relates to what I've said earlier, but I like this one, and I forgot who said it. It's find something that you like or love or passionate about. Don't care about the opinion of others, and put so much volume that it will be unreasonable that you will be unsuccessful. And I really believe in that. I don't believe it's sure you're going to succeed, but if you do that, at least you'll put everything on your side to maybe reach the goal. So that's the first one. And the second one, I like the second one. It's from, I heard it from, if you or the people that will listen, they kind of golf fans. I heard it from Rory McIlroy. And he said, you don't, and I love this one, and I really believe in it. You don't level up by, no, you don't rise up. You don't rise up by the level of your goals. You fall down by the level of your systems. Doesn't mean you don't need goals, of course, and ambitions. Yeah, get goals and vision and ambitions. But what's going to happen when tough time is going to come? What's going to happen when you're going to fail? What's going to happen when you're going to figure it out that what you've done, actually, it's not the right way? What's going to happen? And most of the time, most of the people, when that happens, they just stop. They stop. They stop believing. They say, "Oh, it wasn't for me. Oh, I've done so much. It's useless. The effort is useless," and they're gonna stop their project. And but if you build systems, emotional systems, you surround yourself with the right people, the right care, the right love, systems for you. If Sunday you had a shitty competition, a shitty day, up system that you come back on Monday pumped up. But it's not gonna happen this way. You need to put systems in place, routines in place. And those routines are way more difficult to put in place when times are hard. When when you're successful, it's very easy, very easy. But put the right systems, and I really believe in that, and I really try to share that also with my athletes, and I see it works most of the time. So that's what I can share with you.
Yeah, because they're established for those difficult times, and they'll see you through those periods. Yeah, for sure. Well, I love that idea of actually just congratulating your failures as well, because at least it means you're doing something. At least it means you're moving forward, you're trying things. And you think about all these entrepreneurs who have failed and failed and failed and failed. But then they eventually get to where they want to be or whatever. So again, just that resilience, I suppose.
Yes.
So. Okay.
Exactly.
Amazing. Well, and anything else you think's useful to share from your journey?
No, I think look, I don't know, for all because I guess that maybe if you are the person that listen to your podcast are also people that are considering maybe a move or just started a move or are interested about the topic. I mean, you know, there was that big survey done about regrets. I forgot he's a bestseller journalist in New York Times, but I forgot his name. He's done that survey, etc., etc. And you know, one of the biggest regrets that people have at the end of their life, it's that they were not bold enough when they could. So you know, we're still young, 30, 40, 50 even. We still have energy. We still get up. So that's the time when we can do things because we're younger than when we're going to be 80, 85 or 90. And at that time, no, it's a bit late for building a new business, etc. I mean, it's never too late, but I think if you believe that you're going to have regrets, do it.
Yeah,
like
I know.
Start somehow. Start somewhere. And I think that the other thing I can share is sometimes it's very scary because we believe that career change has to happen. You know, we need to let it go, everything. We need to quit the corporate job and the security and the salary every month. It doesn't have to happen this way. You can build it up on the side, step by step. Just put few hours. But not many people have the consistency of putting 4 hours per week, every month for a full year. And at the end of the year, they're like, okay, how I advanced on that project? And but if you put the hours, keep your corporate job or full-time job and see what happens. But you don't have to leave everything at once. It's not like that. And I don't think I would advise it, by the way, except if you have loads of savings. But you don't have to leave everything at once. Step by step, and then you'll figure it out. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, just little by little. I don't know why we assume we have to make these grand exits and, you know, just expect ourselves to jump off cliffs with no
Yeah.
safety net.
Yes.
Just do it at a pace that you're comfortable with. Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
definitely how I approached it.
Mhm.
But as you say, being willing to put in that hard work.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And just accepting that, knowing that it will be worth it, that it will move you forward, that it's so many people really want that challenge and that learning. So it's sort of thinking, okay, well, here's the opportunity to have that outlet and put that energy into it.
But sometimes I wonder, do they really want it? Do they really have the grit to do it? Because I had that conversations many times. I've seen, I mean, I'm not the best, I'm not the worst, I'm somewhere. But I had that conversations, and I've seen few mental coaches that they're doing that since maybe now 6 years, 8 years, and they still are kind of struggling to make it a living. And when I talk to them and I talk to other people that have tried that path, or I'm wondering, like, do they have the grit? They have the passion, but it's not, grit is not passion. Grit is the hard work. Grit is to put the volume. Grit is every day. And if you go this path, that's why don't leave your job at once. Check if you have the grit. Check for us if you have the grit to put that consistency for some time. And if you like, oh, I think I have this. I think I have it. I think I could put more. I think it's a good sign. But if after a few months you've tried onto that project and you see that you're not putting the consistency, you're not putting the volume of work, you lost the interest, maybe it's not for you. Test yourself.
Well, I guess there's the debate of whether that can be learnt, but I don't know. Well, I like to believe that it can. I mean, I've worked with a lot of people who they really want it, they just get in their own way. Well, I mean, you're the mental performance coach.
Sure.
But
totally true.
There's just so much noise that sometimes we have to
absolutely
try and cut through. And it's amazing when people find that grit and they find the strategies to harness it, I suppose. But it takes a lot, and I think the person has to really want the thing that they're going after.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And sometimes the interest does wane. But I suppose that those are the times that you were talking about, that when it's difficult, do you have that consistency and that persistence to ride that wave until it comes back, or you find a different avenue to explore?
And when it's difficult, ask for help, ask for support. You can't do nothing alone. You can't do nothing alone. I don't believe you can do something. I really believe we need support. I love to talk to other mental coaches. I love to ask them, how do they do that? How do they do this? I sometimes have, without sharing the personal things, but sometimes we talk about cases without naming the names and stuff, but we talk about cases. Look, I have this case, something, I don't know how to have this athlete. How would you do it? Ask for help. So in tough times, when you're lost, please ask for help. Yeah, that's the best way to find it out. But still, I think today many people are ashamed or not comfortable. Maybe not ashamed, not comfortable asking for help. But I mean,
which is bizarre, isn't it? The funny, I think James on one of the other episodes, he said that asking for help's a bit of a superpower. And it's so true. Like, it takes a lot of vulnerability and courage to ask for help. Which is
kind of,
very, very strange. So if you have that ability, it can just change everything.
But as you said, it's a learnable ability. Once you ask for help once, and then twice, then 3 times, then 10 times, and you're like, wow, so easy, so nice. I'll do it a lot now. So it's trainable, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Amazing. Well, it's been so nice to talk to you and learn all about your journey. And as I said, just very inspirational. I love your energy. I love your passion. I love your grit, your consistency, your discipline, all these amazing qualities, which is, and that's how things have moved so fast for you, I suppose.
Yeah.
And wish you all the best with all the athletes that you'll be working with
Thank you very much.
in the future.
Thank you very much. Appreciate.
So if people want to chat to you further, you said you're happy for them to reach out to you on LinkedIn.
Absolutely. LinkedIn and Instagram are the best channels. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is mental coach _ Benois, Bena. And LinkedIn, Benjamin name and family name, Benois, French.
Okay. Yeah. Beautifully said. I love the French accent. All right. Well, it's, as I said, lovely to talk to you. Wish you all the best.
Cheers.
And
Cheers.
yeah,
It was brilliant.
care. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.